Men and women talk every day, but very few actually communicate. Words are spoken, messages are sent, arguments happen, silence follows, and relationships slowly break, not because people don't care, but because they don't understand how differently men and women are wired to think, feel, and express. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors, never wrote relationship advice directly, yet his thoughts on human nature, emotion, and self-control reveal powerful communication secrets that still apply today. The first secret you must understand is this: men and women don't listen for the same reason. A man often listens to fix a problem. A woman often listens to feel understood. This single difference creates most misunderstandings. When a woman shares a problem, she may not want a solution. She wants emotional connection. But a man, guided by logic and action, jumps straight into fixing mode. He gives advice, he offers solutions, he thinks he's helping. But to her, it feels like he didn't listen at all. Marcus Aurelius taught that before reacting, we must pause and observe. He believed understanding always comes before action. If more men practiced this pause, this silent understanding, many conflicts would disappear. On the other side, women often try to communicate emotions through words, tone, and expressions. Men, however, tend to communicate status, direction, and intent more than emotion. When a man becomes quiet, it does not always mean he is angry or losing interest. Often it means he is processing internally. Marcus Aurelius himself wrote about retreating into one's own mind to find clarity. Silence, for many men, is not distance. It is self-regulation. But when women interpret this silence as emotional withdrawal, anxiety begins. The problem is not silence. The problem is interpretation. Another deep secret is that men value respect more than emotional reassurance, while women value emotional safety more than logic. When a man feels disrespected through harsh words, sarcasm, or public criticism, he shuts down. His ego feels attacked. He becomes defensive or distant. A woman, however, may not intend disrespect at all. She may simply be expressing frustration. Marcus Aurelius warned that we must not assume intention behind actions. Most people act from their own inner struggles, not from a desire to harm. Understanding this can save countless arguments. Women, on the other hand, shut down when they feel emotionally unsafe. This doesn't mean physical danger. It means feeling unheard, dismissed, or invalidated. When a man responds to emotion with cold logic, she feels alone. He may say, "You're overreacting," or "It's not a big deal." To him, these are calming statements. To her, they feel like rejection. Marcus Aurelius emphasized empathy, the ability to place yourself in another person's mind. Without empathy, communication becomes a battle instead of a bridge. One of the biggest communication mistakes is trying to win instead of trying to understand. Men often see arguments as problems to solve or debates to win. Women often see arguments as emotional ruptures that need healing. This mismatch creates endless loops of conflict. Marcus Aurelius wrote that true strength is not proving yourself right, but maintaining inner peace. When communication becomes about ego, nobody wins. When it becomes about understanding, both grow. Another powerful secret is timing. Men and women experience emotions on different timelines. A woman may need to talk immediately after something happens. Talking helps her process. A man may need time alone before he can talk calmly. If forced to talk too soon, he may react with anger or shut down. If forced to wait too long, she may feel ignored. Marcus Aurelius taught patience, not just with others, but with processes. Communication improves when both sides respect timing instead of demanding it. Words are only part of communication. Tone, body language, and energy matter more. Women are often more sensitive to tone and emotional shifts. A man may say the right words with the wrong tone and cause damage. Men, however, are more focused on the literal meaning of words. they may miss emotional signals completely. This is not because they don't care, it's because they prioritize different inputs. Marcus Aurelius believed that perception shapes reality. If you change how you perceive communication, you change how you experience relationships. Another hidden truth is that men often feel loved through appreciation, while women feel loved through presence. A man feels connected when his efforts are noticed. A woman feels connected when attention is given. A man may think providing resources or solving problems is love. A woman may think listening and emotional engagement is love. Both are right, but incomplete. Marcus Aurelius taught balance. Strength without compassion is cruelty. Compassion without strength is weakness. Relationships need both. One dangerous communication habit is mind reading. Women may assume, if he cared, he would know. Men may assume, if she had a problem, she would say it directly. Both assumptions are wrong. Marcus Aurelius warned against assuming knowledge without evidence. Clear communication beats silent expectations every time. Saying what you need is not weakness. It is wisdom. Another secret is emotional vocabulary. Women usually have a wider emotional language. They can name feelings precisely: hurt, disappointed, overwhelmed, anxious. Men often struggle to label emotions beyond anger, stress, or silence. This doesn't mean men feel less. It means they were not trained to express. Marcus Aurelius wrote about examining emotions deeply instead of avoiding them. When men expand emotional awareness, communication transforms. Conflict itself is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Many men avoid emotional conflict because it feels draining or pointless. Many women push conflict because unresolved emotion feels unbearable. Both reactions come from self-protection. Marcus Aurelius taught that discomfort is part of growth. Facing difficult conversations calmly is a form of strength. One more critical secret. Men and women often argue about different things, even when using the same words. A man may argue about facts. A woman may argue about feelings. He wants accuracy. She wants acknowledgement. When both argue on different levels, nothing gets resolved. Marcus Aurelius believed clarity comes from defining the true issue. Ask not, who is right, but what is really being felt here? Communication breaks when people react instead of respond. Reaction is emotional and automatic. Response is thoughtful and controlled. Marcus Aurelius lived by this principle. He trained himself to pause before speaking. In relationships, this pause can prevent words that cannot be taken back. Silence used wisely is better than speech used poorly. Finally, the most important secret: you cannot control how others communicate, only how you do. Many people wait for their partner to change first. Marcus Aurelius taught radical responsibility. Change yourself, and the dynamic changes. Speak with clarity. Listen with patience. Respond with empathy. Communication is not about perfection. It is about progress. This is only the beginning. The deeper psychological patterns, power dynamics, and emotional triggers between men and women go even further, and Marcus Aurelius offers timeless guidance for all of it. To truly master communication between men and women, you must understand power, not power over others, but power over the self. Marcus Aurelius believed that the strongest person in the room is not the loudest, but the calmest. This idea changes everything in relationships. Many arguments escalate not because of the issue, but because emotions take control. When one person loses emotional balance, the other often follows. But when one person remains grounded, the conflict weakens. Men often express power through control of situations, outcomes, and even conversations. When a man feels he is losing control, his communication can turn cold, aggressive, or withdrawn. This is not always about the other person. It is about his internal struggle. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Many male reactions come from imagined threats to respect, status, or competence, not from real danger. Women, on the other hand, often express power through emotional influence. Their words, tone, and expressions carry deep emotional weight. When a woman feels emotionally powerless, her communication may become intense, repetitive, or dramatic, not to manipulate, but to be seen and felt. Marcus Aurelius taught that behavior is often a cry of unmet needs. Once you see communication as expression, not attack, everything softens. One major secret is emotional escalation. Women tend to escalate verbally when they feel unheard. Men tend to escalate by shutting down or raising their voice when they feel overwhelmed. Both behaviors trigger each other. The louder she gets, the quieter he becomes. The quieter he becomes, the louder she gets. This cycle destroys connection. Marcus Aurelius advised breaking cycles by changing one's own response. You cannot stop the storm outside, but you can still the storm inside. Another hidden truth is that men and women often attach different meanings to the same words. When a woman says, "You never listen," she rarely means, "never." She means, "I feel unheard right now." A man hears this as an absolute accusation and immediately becomes defensive. When a man says, "I need space," he often means, "I need time to think." A woman may hear this as rejection. Marcus Aurelius warned against taking words at face value without understanding intent. Listening is not passive, it is an active skill. Many people listen to reply, not to understand. Men especially may listen only long enough to find a solution. Women may listen while emotionally absorbing everything said. Marcus Aurelius practiced reflective thinking, repeating ideas internally before responding. In communication, repeating back what the other person feels can calm tension faster than any argument. Saying, "I understand you feel frustrated," can stop a conflict before it grows. Another powerful secret is emotional safety during disagreement. Men often believe love should be calm and peaceful. Women understand that love includes emotional storms. When conflict arises, men may fear the relationship is breaking. Women may see conflict as an attempt to reconnect. This difference causes fear on one side and urgency on the other. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we should not be disturbed by what is natural. Conflict is natural. How you handle it defines the outcome. Men often underestimate how long emotional wounds last for women. A careless word spoken in anger may be forgotten by the man the next day, but remembered by the woman for years. This is not weakness, it is emotional depth. Marcus Aurelius emphasized responsibility for words. Once spoken, they cannot be retrieved. Wisdom is speaking only what you can stand behind later. Women, on the other hand, may underestimate how deeply criticism affects men. A joke, a comparison, or a dismissive comment can wound a man's sense of worth. Men rarely talk about these wounds, but they carry them silently. Marcus Aurelius believed dignity is fragile. Protecting another person's dignity is an act of strength, not submission. Another secret lies in emotional repair. Women usually want acknowledgement after conflict. Men often want to move on and forget. A man may think silence means peace. A woman may think silence means unresolved pain. Marcus Aurelius taught closure through reflection. Saying, "I'm sorry," even without full agreement, is not surrender. It is maturity. Repairing emotional damage restores trust faster than being right. Men and women also differ in how they process stress. Men often internalize stress and withdraw. Women often externalize stress and talk. When a man withdraws, a woman may chase. When a woman talks more, a man may retreat further. This push and pull is not personal, it is biological and psychological. Marcus Aurelius advised observing patterns without judgment. Once patterns are seen, they can be managed. Another deep insight is that attraction and communication are linked. Men feel more attracted when they feel respected and trusted. Women feel more attracted when they feel emotionally connected and safe. Poor communication erodes attraction slowly. Marcus Aurelius believed harmony comes from alignment. When communication aligns with emotional needs, attraction naturally grows. Expectations are silent killers of communication. Women may expect emotional intuition. Men may expect directness. When expectations are unmet, resentment grows silently. Marcus Aurelius warned against expecting the world to behave according to our desires. Replacing expectation with clarity prevents disappointment. Ask clearly. Say clearly. Assume less. One important lesson is that emotional intelligence can be learned. Many men believe they are just not emotional. Many women believe men should already know. Both beliefs block growth. Marcus Aurelius believed self-improvement is a daily practice. Communication improves when both sides commit to learning, not blaming. Finally, understand this. Communication is not about saying everything you feel. It is about choosing what serves the relationship. Marcus Aurelius practiced restraint. Not every thought deserves a voice. Wisdom is filtering emotion through reason before expression. When both men and women learn this balance, conversations become powerful instead of painful. There is still one final layer, the deepest layer, where identity, ego, and self-worth shape how men and women speak, listen, and love. That is where the most powerful communication secrets live. The deepest communication problems between men and women are not about words at all. They are about identity, how a man sees himself, how a woman values herself. Marcus Aurelius believed that all external conflict is a reflection of internal disorder. When people feel secure within, their communication becomes calm. When they feel insecure, every conversation feels like a threat. Men often tie their identity to usefulness, strength, and achievement. When a man feels he is failing in these areas, his communication changes. He may become defensive, distant, or overly controlling. Simple questions can feel like criticism. Emotional conversations can feel like judgment. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a man should not attach his worth to external outcomes. When men learn this, they stop hearing attacks where none exist. Women often tie their identity to connection, belonging, and emotional value. When a woman feels disconnected, her communication becomes intense. She may repeat herself, raise emotional energy, or seek reassurance. This is not neediness. It is the nervous system asking for safety. Marcus Aurelius believed that human beings are social by nature. Ignoring emotional needs creates inner chaos. Ego is the silent voice behind most arguments. A man's ego may say, "I am being disrespected." A woman's ego may say, "I am being ignored." Both feel pain, but express it differently. Marcus Aurelius taught that ego is not the enemy, but it must be governed by reason. When ego leads communication, conflict grows. When awareness leads, understanding follows. One critical secret is emotional responsibility. Many people expect their partner to regulate their emotions. Men may expect women to stay calm. Women may expect men to be emotionally available at all times. This is unrealistic. Marcus Aurelius believed each person must master their own inner world first. A relationship is two whole individuals, not two halves trying to complete each other. Another powerful insight is that men and women often test each other unconsciously. Men may test loyalty by withdrawing. Women may test care by expressing emotion. These tests are rarely intentional. They are survival strategies learned early in life. Marcus Aurelius wrote that people act according to their nature and conditioning. Seeing tests as fear instead of manipulation changes the response completely. Fear is the root of many communication failures. Men fear failure, loss of respect, and inadequacy. Women fear abandonment, emotional neglect, and invisibility. These fears shape tone, words, and reactions. Marcus Aurelius taught that fear loses power when examined calmly. When you understand the fear behind the words, you stop taking things personally. Another deep layer is boundaries. Men often struggle to express emotional boundaries. Women often struggle to respect physical or mental space. When boundaries are unclear, resentment builds. Marcus Aurelius emphasized self-discipline and self-knowledge. Knowing your limits and communicating them calmly is an act of self-respect, not selfishness. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Many relationships have intense conversations followed by long periods of silence. This creates instability. Marcus Aurelius believed in steady practice. Small, respectful conversations done consistently build stronger bonds than rare emotional explosions. One overlooked secret is appreciation during calm moments. Most people wait until conflict to communicate deeply. But trust is built when things are peaceful. Men open emotionally when they feel safe from criticism. Women relax emotionally when they feel consistently valued. Marcus Aurelius wrote that virtue is practiced in ordinary moments, not dramatic ones. Another crucial lesson is letting go of the need to be understood perfectly. Men may never feel emotions the way women do. Women may never process logic the way men do. Marcus Aurelius accepted human imperfection. Communication improves when the goal is connection, not complete alignment. Control is the enemy of communication. Trying to control reactions, feelings, or outcomes creates resistance. Marcus Aurelius taught acceptance. Speak honestly, listen fully, and release the outcome. True influence comes from integrity, not force. The strongest communicators are not the most expressive, but the most grounded. Men who learn emotional awareness gain quiet confidence. Women who learn emotional regulation gain inner peace. When both meet in the middle, communication becomes effortless. Finally, remember this timeless truth from Marcus Aurelius's philosophy. You cannot choose how others behave, but you can choose how you respond. In communication, this is ultimate power. Speak with intention, listen with humility, respond with clarity. When men and women stop fighting each other and start understanding themselves, communication stops being a struggle and becomes a source of strength. Knowledge means nothing if it stays unused. If even one idea from this video opened your mind, then like this video right now. Help this message reach people who are tired of misunderstanding and emotional confusion. Share it. And if you want more deep, practical wisdom from Stoic philosophy that applies to modern life, subscribe to the channel. This channel is for thinkers, not just watchers.